Keto Ginger Cookie Recipe. This Keto Ginger Cookie Recipe gives you all the flavor of ginger snap cookies without all the carbs. They're oh so delicious and take less than 30 minutes to make. How this low-carb ginger cookie recipe is about to change your life. These little keto cookies won't last long. They're the perfect texture, only take 10 minutes of prep, and have an incomparable taste. You may find yourself choosing this ginger cookie recipe over sugary ones. These little ones are gluten-free, vegetarian, low-carb, keto, and if you sub the butter with coconut oil, they are also dairy-free and paleo. So there. You now have a good excuse to eat them. As you may already know, I love baking with almond flour, cakes, cookies, cakelets, muffins. I love my almond flour desserts. So of course, I wanted to take a stab at making some ginger snap cookies with almond flour, and that's how I came up with this delightful ginger cookie recipe. Alex, my 17-year-old son, is really into baking, so I asked him to make the first batch. We liked them, but they were a little softer and crumblier than we wanted, and while they tasted good, I didn't think they'd travel as well. I started tweaking the original ginger cookie recipe, and of course, cutting out steps where possible. This streamlined recipe for this gluten-free, low-carb ginger cookie recipe will take you about 10 minutes to put together and 10 to 15 minutes to bake. That is a little dangerous if you think about it. I have to say, these are the best low-carb cookies I've ever tasted, and I've spent a lot of money trying various commercial keto cookies. Many of those taste like fiber or sawdust. These do not. These taste like cookies. Real, really delicious cookies. Now let's get to cooking. How to make ginger cookies. 1. Preheat the oven to 350 F. 2. Line a cookie sheet with parchment paper and set aside. 3. Using a hand blender, cream together the butter, agave nectar, egg, and water. 4. To this mixture, add all the dry ingredients and mix well on low speed. 5. Roll into 2 teaspoon balls and arrange on a baking tray with parchment paper. They don't really spread too much but leave a little room between them. 6. Bake for 12 to 15 minutes until the tops have lightly browned. 7. Once cooled, store in an airtight container. For like the 1 hour these cookies will be around before you eat them all. Why are they called ginger snaps? They call them ginger snaps because they're made with ginger, and they are typically a crispier, crunchier cookie that makes a snap sound when they're consumed. This gluten-free ginger cookie recipe is basically just a ginger snap cookie baked with lower carb ingredients like almond flour and truvia. They do, however, still have that delightful texture and snap you'd expect from a good ginger snap. How long do ginger snap cookies last? Now it depends on what you mean by last. This ginger cookie recipe will keep in an airtight container for about 2 to 3 weeks. However, don't expect them to last that long, as they'll more than likely all be eaten before then. Do these keto cookies use almond flour? They sure do. That's what helps keep them low carb. But don't fret. The unconventional flour won't change the flavor or texture of these cookies one bit. With the influx of people eating low carb and gluten-free, you can easily find it in the baking aisle of your local grocer. Do sugar-free cookies taste good? I may be a bit biased because I haven't eaten sugar on a consistent basis in years. In my opinion, and thousands of other people that have tried this recipe, these cookies aren't just good. They're great. Your taste buds won't skip a beat when you sink your teeth into one of these delicious cookies. Tips and tricks for making this ginger cookie recipe. This recipe yields a total of 18 cookies. The nutritional info is per a cookie. I haven't experimented with substituting something else for the eggs, so regrettably, I can't answer any questions about that. If you find a good substitute, make sure to let me know in the comments.